You can heat an entire house for 2 days with a single log of wood, and if that sounds like clickbait, good, because the truth is even stranger than that. Listen carefully, because this isn't about magic stoves or secret Soviet technology, it's about physics. Most modern homes are built to waste. Somewhere in rural Russia, Siberia, and Eastern Europe, families have survived -40 winters, blackouts, fuel shortages, and wars using a stove design that hasn't meaningfully changed in centuries. And it doesn't roar like a fireplace. It doesn't glow all night, it barely looks like it's working at all. That's the part that should scare you a little. Here's the thing nobody tells you about heating a house. Fire is the worst possible way to heat a space if your goal is survival. Open flames feel warm, they look comforting, and they burn fuel as fast as a hungry animal. A standard fireplace can lose up to 80% of its heat straight up the chimney. You're not heating your home, you're heating the sky. In a grid-down winter scenario, that's not cozy, that's lethal inefficiency. The Russian stove flips that logic completely. It doesn't try to heat the air. It stores heat in mass, like a thermal battery, and then releases it slowly, long after the fire is dead. Imagine lighting a fire so intense it's over in under 2 hours, then walking away while the house stays warm for the next 48. That's not exaggeration. The core idea is brutal simplicity. Burn hot, burn fast, capture everything. The Russian stove is built from brick, stone, or clay, sometimes weighing several tons. When you burn a single dense log inside it, birch, oak, pine if that's all you have, the firebox reaches extremely high temperatures. We're talking complete combustion, not smoldering. That matters because complete combustion extracts almost all usable energy from the wood. Smoke is unburned fuel. Russian stoves don't tolerate smoke. They force it to burn or die. Now here's where the design gets clever in a way modern HVAC engineers quietly respect. Instead of sending hot gases straight up and out, the stove forces them through a labyrinth of internal channels. These gases snake through masonry corridors, sometimes traveling several meters before they ever reach the chimney. Every turn strips heat from the gas and dumps it into the stove's massive body. By the time exhaust exits, it's barely warm. That's energy you didn't waste. That's energy sitting in stone waiting to leak back into your life slowly. Even though this matters because humans don't freeze to death when the fire goes out. They freeze hours later, when the temperature quietly drops and nobody notices until it's too late. Russian stoves radiate heat, not blast it. Radiant heat warms objects, walls, floors, beds, and your body directly. You feel comfortable at lower air temperatures because your environment itself is warm. This is why people could sleep on top of these stoves, yes, on top of them, using them as heated platforms during Siberian nights. That's not folklore. That's thermal physics doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Another detail modern people miss is airflow. In survival heating, airflow is the enemy. Drafts steal heat faster than cold itself. Russian stoves are sealed systems. No constant air draw, no vacuum effect sucking warmth out of the room. Once the burn is complete, dampers close, trapping heat inside the mass. The stove becomes a silent radiator. No flame, no smoke, no noise, just stored energy bleeding back into the structure hour by hour. In blackout conditions, silence is safety. This section is based on practical field survival experience rather than formal academic sources. And let's talk about fuel, because this is where collapse reality hits hardest. In a prolonged crisis, fuel scarcity kills faster than violence. A Russian stove doesn't care about pretty logs, it cares about density and dryness. One properly seasoned log can outperform an entire night of fireplace feeding. That means less wood cutting, less exposure, fewer calories burned hauling fuel through snow. In survival math, every calorie saved is heat gained. You don't want to work harder just to stay warm. You want your systems to do the work for you. There's also a psychological edge here that's easy to overlook. Fire demands attention. You babysit it, you worry about it, you wake up to feed it. Russian stoves free your mind. You burn once a day, maybe once every other day, and you're done. That mental bandwidth matters when stress compounds. When everything else is failing, power, supply chains, communication, reliable heat becomes a kind of emotional armor. You stop panicking, you start thinking clearly. Another quietly brutal truth. Modern homes are designed around constant energy input. When the grid dies, they fail fast. Russian stoves were designed assuming energy scarcity was the default. They integrate cooking, heating, drying clothes, even medical warmth into a single structure. One fire, multiple functions. You can boil water on it, bake bread inside it, dry wet boots against it, and sleep beside it without suffocating. That level of integration isn't quaint, it's efficient. There's a reason similar designs appear everywhere humans faced cold with limited fuel. Scandinavian masonry heaters, Korean ondol floors, ancient Roman holocausts. Different cultures, same physics, same conclusion. Mass beats flame. Fast burns beats slow smolders. Storage beats consumption. The Russian stove just survived long enough to teach us the lesson again because it never relied on convenience to begin with. And here's the uncomfortable part. Most people watching this could not install or use one properly tomorrow. That's not an insult, it's a warning. These systems require planning, space, and respect for physics, but the idea behind them, the idea that heat should be captured, stored, and released slowly, is something you can apply right now. Thermal mass, insulation, airflow control. Even small changes shift the equation. It rewards systems that were thought through long before they were needed. So when you hear that one log can heat a home for 2 days, don't think miracle. Think discipline. Think design shaped by centuries of failure, famine, and winter deaths. Think about a world where fire was precious and waste was unforgivable. That's the mindset the Russian stove comes from. And if the lights ever go out for good, that mindset will matter a lot more than any gadget you forgot to charge.